Tonight here at Moonee Valley, they have unveiled great new technology and technology that will develop over time, hopefully not just at this racecourse, but in all of the metropolitan racecourses. It's a big investment by racing in Victoria, and you've seen it in other parts of the world. It's called the Trakus technology. It gives us great pleasure to have the CEO of Trakus in, Bob McCarthy, who joins us here at the host set. And Bob, welcome to Australia and welcome to Moonee Valley, and it's fantastic that you brought your technology with you.
Thank you, Jason. Pleasure to be here.
It is fantastic, and those that have been watching Singapore races, for example, would know that's where all your technology is, and we've seen some of it tonight. We're only just seeing a little snapshot. We're going to see a lot more.
Tonight's only step one. First, we're very pleased to be working with Racing Victoria and introducing the technology in the Australian marketplace. We introduced a few features tonight, being able to track the horse on the infield boards. It's on course only tonight.
Okay, on course only tonight. So the patrons here are enjoying exactly this. This is what the patrons on course are seeing. So straight away, Joe, the first thing we see, which we haven't been able to see in Victoria, is bang, the first 400 metres. We saw the time.
And this is thanks to an electronic tracking device being put inside the saddle cloths of each horse.
That's correct. So there's an electronic tag in each saddle towel for each individual horse. We track the horses 30 times a second. That gives us information on their speed, position, where they are relative to each other. If they're running wide around a turn, it gives us the trip distance for each horse, so very valuable information for punters. It gives you a full 3D digital display of the race as it happens.
Okay, so when do we get that information that we've just seen there is immediate information? Where the other sectional times and the like, how quickly can we gain that as punters?
Oh, instantaneously. It comes through the system. It's up to the clubs to decide how that's presented on their website. So in terms of using it as a punter for the next race or as the race completes, that's up to the presentation on the internet. It's shown immediately on the on-site display today, and pretty soon on the broadcast signal.
Now we can see, and we're going to show you some vision of what maybe can happen in the future. Well, we've seen it in Singapore, and this is the virtual aerial shot. This would be familiar to those that watch it in Singapore, and you can explain all the technology involved in this, Bob, and this is maybe the next step for us.
So in addition to being putting the electronic tags on the horse, we have a full three-dimensional photorealistic model of the racecourse. Superimposing the data of the horse's positions onto the 3D model of the racecourse allows you to give a virtual aerial view, as an example.
Okay, so we're watching the aerial view at the moment. It'd be familiar to those that are regulars watching Singapore, and it's a great addition for us as broadcasters. Joe, you've probably utilised it in your time in Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's been introduced in Hong Kong for some time now, and been a very effective tool, not only for racing administrators and handicappers, but also for people training horses and for the riders to then go back and assess performance, and for the punter, of course. So it benefits each important stakeholder.
Additionally, I think in addition to having data for each of the stakeholders, I think we have a tool to be able to engage new fans.
And we're looking at the moment in the jockey vision. This is another option, another opportunity for us in the future. Take us through those.
So because we have the photorealistic model, now you can put yourself in the race as it runs or as a replay product. So we have an application for the iPad that can be delivered over the internet. We can show the jockey view on the telecast. You have the full depiction of the race as it happens. Which
is fantastic. It's like playing a video game, Joe.
It is. It's amazing. Amazing. How long has it taken to develop this technology? I would imagine quite a number of years.
Yes, well, we started the company more than 15 years ago. We've been in horse racing since 2007. We have 20 race courses outfitted around the world as of today with Moonee Valley. Specifically on this project, the last few months we've spent working with the Simpson and RTD, the companies that outfitted the race course with the wiring. They did a top-notch job. Working very closely with Racing Victoria. Bernard and his team put together the graphics and the plan for rolling it out. Everything's been going great. Okay,
tell us specifically how you do it. Like, you've got a big team, but how do you actually implement it?
So on the race course, there's 30 to 40 antennas up around the outside of the race course outer rail. And as the tags make their way, or the horses make their way onto the track wearing the tags, we're tracking the tags before, during, and after the race. So we have them when they're in the starting gate opens, the timers start, we know where the horses are all the way through the race course until they hit the finish line and then through the finish. All that information gets processed by the system here on site, as well as supported by the Network Operations Center we have in Boston. So at the same time things are happening at the race course, we're monitoring the system and operating it remotely through a support vehicle in our network operations system in Boston.
Isn't that fascinating? For us at racing.com and the Racing Live team, at the moment it's just on the big screen for all the patrons on course, but it'll be rolled out as part of our Racing Live presentation, and hopefully not just at this course, we'll be rolling it out at all the metropolitan courses.
Well, we certainly hope so. Tonight's a big step, and we're excited to be here. We hope to expand on the feature sets, not only at this race course, but also within the Victorian market.
Was there a particular reason why Moonee Valley has been sort of the first track to be selected here in Melbourne?
Well, I think Michael Brow has been excited about this for some time. He's very innovative in the way he thinks, and the race course itself, its presentation is outstanding here. We've been having discussions for a while, and this is a big moment for our company, and certainly we hope we can help in the Victorian racing market make a very compelling product.
And no doubt also, we need government support. It's an expensive operation for the Victorian racing industry. Government support's going to be so important if we're going to roll it out to all the various tracks. But for racing, for the customers, the information that you can provide them is what the customers here just yearn, because we're becoming so much more data savvy.
Absolutely. I mean, you take a look at the Cox Plate 2014, you have Adelaide running, 6 and 7 horses wide on the turn. The question is, how much more distance did he cover? What are the internal fractions for that race? These kind of questions can be answered now that you have the system in place to be able to deliver this kind of information in a quantified way.
Oh, so have you been able to roll your technology over a race vision, or you can't do that? I'm just wondering, my horse that came second, how much extra meters did he cover? It's not going to get my money back though.
Well, as you prepare for an upcoming race, you can see if a horse covers extra ground and covers it in a certain amount of time, whether or not that horse might have had a bad trip and how you might factor that into your enjoyment of the next transaction you make.
Now, Trakus has introduced you obviously to some of the great racing jurisdictions around the world, the US, Asia, now Australia. What is your view and your experience of Australian racing so far compared to other countries that you've been working in?
It's a good question. Racing is becoming a worldwide sport with the signal import and export aspect of the sport, and shippers, being able to ship horses in more and more cost effectively. I think the world stage of racing is becoming something that is becoming more understandable to consumers. So as far as Australia and how it fits there, we hope that we can help not only the domestic signal inside of the Victorian market and how Victorian racing fits inside of the Australian landscape, but also importantly the international aspect of the sport, being able to take Victorian racing and place it on the world stage in a way that looks the numbers go along with the pictures to translate into different regions.
Well, Bob, to put it into perspective, when you go back to Boston, you go back to your board, you want to show how important it is in Victorian racing. I think we're the only country in the world that has a public holiday for a horse race. You might want to tell them how much we love racing here.
I think they know, and we're certainly getting quite a sense of it this week. We're looking forward to later this year. Maybe we can be here for that public holiday.
I think you will be. It's stage 1 tonight. We look forward to watching it evolve, and obviously racing.com and also the Racing Live team being a big part of it. Thanks for your time tonight. Enjoy the rest of your night, and
Thank you.
Thanks for the contribution and what I'm sure the punters will really enjoy in the future.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
There is
Nice to meet you
Bob McCarthy, CEO of Trakus, providing their outstanding technology we're seeing tonight.